So hello and welcome to Conversations with Esther. Today, the 8th of November, 2023. Our topic today is personal branding. Karibu sana. Welcome, Mary, Alex. I see another, Mercy, MCZD, Wanjiro, and everyone else. Karibuni sana. We are 21 in the room, and I think it's a good enough number to kick off. I will pray, and then we start. Let's begin with a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this evening. Thank you for this session that we are about to have. We ask that you will lead us and instruct us, and that as we learn, God, you will give us more understanding, and that we will also learn from one another. We thank you in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Karibuni sana. So I'll share my screen and kick off. Hoping you can see that, right? Peter, you're there? Can confirm that.
Yes, I can see the screen.
Thank you. Thank you. So today our topic is clearly personal branding. And if you look at the back of that poster, you see a cat looking through the mirror, and what the cat sees is a lion. So I don't know what you see yourself as. You measure yourself against other brands, measure yourself against your achievements and your dreams and visions and values and where you want to be. You could be feeling like a cat today, but you're heading to the lion side. So karibuni sana. As we go on, good. I would like to begin this with, and this is how we always begin. We begin by introducing our Conversations with Esther, because this is who we are. And for those that are new on the call, Conversations with Esther is an impact-driven professional platform that informs, educates, and rebuilds mindsets to ignite ethical and authentic leadership, best practice within industries while promoting healthy, productive employer-employee relations. We deliver this through virtual and on-site training and conversations. So you're free to invite us to your office, to your business, whether virtually or physically, so that we can speak to your leadership. We can speak to the leadership practices, the best practices in the industry. We can help you promote healthy and productive employer and employee relations. This is a big one in organizations. Now, Conversations with Esther also equips both the employer and employee with relevant skills to champion mental health, psychological safety. Now, mental health is different from psychological safety. I know we are aware of mental health. Now, psychological safety has to do with the work environment, the culture, just equipping employees and leaders to be able to feel safe, to speak their mind out in the workplace without the fear of being victimized. Now, we train on that. We empower the leadership and the employees on that. We also take you through wellness and well-being in the workplace. Now, guided by our three values, our values in this order is integrity is top, excellence and impact. Conversations with Esther envisions a world transformed by candid conversations, respectable relationships, and the goodwill to make every effort count. So that is who we are. For those who are new on the call, now you can always get us on YouTube, Conversations with Esther Katiba. I encourage you to maybe take just as a photo of the screen, and then you can check that out later. Conversations with Esther on YouTube. On LinkedIn, you can follow me as Esther Katiba. On Instagram, Conversations with Esther. And should you want to invite us or to speak to us on email, you can drop us an email at admin@conversationswithesther.org. So we'll give this back to you now. Our great topic today is about branding you. And this is a topic that I love so much because I am very, very conscious of brands, either brands that I consume or myself as a brand and my organization as a brand, or brands that I interact with. Now, you interact with very many brands in your house, on your way to work, on the streets, you interact with brands, on the billboards. You interact with brands that sometimes we are not conscious about, which is the people that you meet. Now, whether you're aware of it or not, you are projecting a specific brand yourself. We may not have branded ourselves. You may not have a logo. You may not have a website, but you're a brand. You speak to a specific brand, you know, and that's why you hear people saying, Peter is like this, Peter likes this, Peter will not stand this and this. So when we talk about brand and you, we are talking about your image, and this is not the outer image. It of course can do with your outer image, but your brand image has to do a lot with how you project it to be, your vision, your mission, and your values. So I don't know whether you have a mission as a person. I don't know whether you have your values. So now when we come to values, whether they are written or not, you subscribe to some values in your life. Now your vision is something that you also need to write down. So we will go deep into this, and today will be more of a learning. And you don't need to write notes. You can always watch this. We are live on YouTube, so you can always watch this on our YouTube. Look at that image. Look at that image. Now position yourself where you want, whether you're on the back side as a lion or you're on the front side as a cat. I don't know. But personal branding is a process of distinctively defining and promoting what you stand for as an individual. That is personal branding. Being very distinctive, defining, and then promoting what you stand for as an individual. So as we go along, I want you to ask yourself, what is that you stand for? What have you defined? What are you promoting as an individual, as a brand? I know there are people here with their own businesses. Now, your personal brand is a zenith, or those that say zenith, pinnacle, apex of the experiences, skills, and values that differentiate you. Now, your personal brand has to do with the pinnacle, the apex of the experiences, your experiences and your skills. And on top of your experiences and your skills, there are values that differentiate you. You know, we say a brand is you know, you need to be a brand that people can prefer to use. We talk a lot about brands that we drink, brands that we consume in different ways. The soaps you use is a brand. You will go into the supermarket and choose and say, I use this kind of a toothpaste because it's a brand, you know. It has an experience. You see, a brand is experienced. You experience a brand, whether it is food or whatever it is that you consume, and then it has values. And you hear people saying, I like this because it is consistent in their taste. I like this one because of this and this. So, and that is what differentiates a brand. I have gone to supermarkets and said, no, this one I don't buy because maybe my experience with that brand was not good. Or I don't hang around this person because my experience around this person was not good. So what is that one thing? And as we go on, I would really want you to engage on the chat. What is that one thing that differentiates you from the others? If you're in photography, I know Peter is here. If you're in photography or in videography, what is that one thing that differentiates you? Because there are very many photographers, there are many videographers, there are very many MCs, MCCDs here. So what is that one thing that differentiates you? Because that is your brand, you know? When you're called in the midst of 100 other MCs, what is that one thing that makes you stand out? So those are the questions that we need to ask ourselves. Now, brands are made, and I think if you look at this part, we said your personal brand is as the pinnacle apex of the experiences, skills, and values. Now, I want us to look at the values. Values, personal values, because your personal values make you up, you know. Now, the definition is personal values are tenets. They are precepts, they are convictions, they are persuasions, opinions, and ideologies, and the central beliefs that daily guide your actions. Now, your values dictate how you behave, whether you know it or not. There are places you will not go. There's a language you will not speak. Sometimes you don't even know why. You just say, no, I don't say that, or I don't go to these places. But it is your values that dictate your actions. They influence your behavior and personality traits and equally guide you through success and challenging times. Now, those are personal values. Now, values consciously or unconsciously inform your decision-making. So whether you're conscious or not, whether you've written down your values or not. Now, Conversations with Esther has written values, which is integrity, excellence, and impact. Those are our 3 values. We've written them down. Now, you may not have written the values for yourself or for your organization, but conscious or unconscious, your values inform your decision-making. They inform your aspirations. They inform the relationships with others. You know, it's how you behave. You've had people say, no, I'm not comfortable in the company of these people. Or I am comfortable with this kind of people. It has to do with your values. Now, how do I define my values? Number 1, life experiences can help define your values. Now, experiences like time when you are at your happiest. You know, think of a time when you're at your happiest. We all have that moment when we say, we have 10 moments of happiness, but there's that one moment that we remember. Now, moments you are most proud, you are thrilled, you are content, you are gratified. Try to remember that moment and see what was happening around it, you know. Dig in, and moments you are most fulfilled and satisfied. I need to pull this down in a minute, maybe just this bit. Yeah, that's okay. I think so. Yeah. So also dig deep. Why the feeling of happiness? Who was around you at that time? Because it also determines and defines your values. Because if it was your family members, then it could be the reason why you're happy, and your values could be around family. It could be that you are watching a football match, or you are in a social gathering, and that could define your values. You know, who was around you, what was happening around you. So those are things that you need to really think about on your values. Now, prioritize your top values. Prioritize, going back into this number, how do I define that? Define your values. If you haven't defined your values, most of the organizations and individuals have their values. Some of them are not written. And it is important for you to even write your own personal values. So number 2 is prioritize your top values. To begin with, list as many values as you can in no particular order. Pick a paper and a pen and write the values that you think are important to you. They may be 10 or 5 or 20, just list them down. Now, begin to compare them with each other. You know, you look at courtesy, you look at timekeeping, you look at this and this, you look at excellence, and now begin to compare, not to mean that the ones you would drop are not important, but then what we are looking for is that you settle for the top 3. So compare them with each other and keep rearranging, you know, use the same concept we've talked about in number 1. Think what makes you happy, what really makes you comfortable. So compare them with each other, keep rearranging them until the list is in correct order, you know. Sometimes you will keep tweaking and moving this below and saying, no, I think integrity is higher than this. No, I think excellence is higher. No, I think impact is higher. Rearrange them as much as you can until you're comfortable. Now, finally, you settle for the top 3. That means you now have your values. Now, breathe life, and I used this purposely, breathe life into them by defining them in writing. Write down what each value means to you personally. Now, organizations have core values, and most organizations will have integrity, excellence. They will have maybe people, care or something. The hospitals will all have almost the same values. But every value means something different. Now, integrity means something different to you than it means to me, you know? So every organization could have, most organizations could share the values, but those values don't mean the same. Integrity might not mean the same to you as it does to me. So breathe life into them. Write down what integrity means to you, you know, or what integrity means to your business. So prioritize the top values, list them, compare them, finally settle for the 3, then write and define what that specific value means to you as a person, because that way you begin to digest it and you begin to live it. Now, number 3 is reaffirm your values. Are you proud of the top 3 values that you have chosen? Check, audit that. Do they make you feel good about yourself? If they don't, go back to the drawing board and begin to list again and to compare and to rearrange them. Now, would you be proud speaking about them to people you respect and admire? You know, I am very confident when I talk to my clients and my friends and people around me about conversations with Esther and our 3 values, you know. Would you be proud speaking about them, about the values you choose to people you respect and admire? Now, do those values represent things and objects you would proudly support? Ask yourself that question, you know. Would you still maintain those values even when it is not the famous way to go? You know, when everyone says, no, integrity is not the famous way to go, would you still hold on to that value? So if you would, then you have made up your mind. So prioritize your top values and reaffirm your values. Now, personal branding, we have, I really wanted to do the values part because your values form your brand. Your values make who you are. Your values speak a lot about you. Your values are a foundation of your brand. So personal branding, I'll just give you tips as we go on with personal branding. Identify your area of expertise. Now, building a brand is not easy. And I think anyone who is on this call and has a brand and has built a brand will tell you it's not easy, because you need to believe in it yourself, and it takes a whole lot of time and investment of every kind to get people to believe in your brand. So identify an area of expertise. What do you effortlessly excel in? Look for something that you don't have to struggle, you don't strain to do. Number 2, what content are you compelled and confident to bring out? Because that is what your brand should be built around. That the content that you're compelled, that which you keep feeling, you know, I hear people saying, you know, I keep feeling in my heart that I need to do this. I keep feeling like I need to talk about this. Every time I go into a meeting and they are talking, my eyes just focus on this. So that content that you feel compelled and very confident to bring out, your brand could be something around there. Now, from your previous posts, if you're on social media or wherever you may be, or engagements, what content have your followers responded to most? Because sometimes we post this and that. Just check what your followers are responding to most or what they are commenting on. You know, that could be the direction of your brand. Now, be unique and authentic in your content. This is a very strong space because people tend to copy another person. Now, if you copy what Conversations with Esther is doing, you may not last very long, because you might be struggling. We do it effortlessly ourselves, we are compelled, we are unique and authentic. Be unique and authentic in what you do. There's so much to do. I keep saying there's a lot of things to do out there. There are a lot of things you can build your brand around instead of copying. We are very good at copying. This one is doing well, someone has this kind of a business, it's doing well. I want to copy. I also want to be a photographer. I want to have a hotel. I want to do this. But you see, that person could really be doing this effortlessly. It's a passion, it's something they don't have to struggle about. They might have built that brand over time, but you don't know. And you will get tired because you're not authentic. Now, identifying your area of expertise. Again, aspire to be a leader in your chosen field or space. Now, if you're not authentic, you will get tired. You will get worn out. You will lose hope in something. But as you keep building your brand, aspire to be a leader, to be the best in that space, to deliver the best in that space. Number 2, be consistent in your content sharing. There are people that just begin, you build a brand, you get followers, and then you drop off. So people get tired of such brands. They get tired. It's the same as introducing a brand in the market. And when we are just enjoying it, we've started enjoying it and referring our family and friends to use that brand, it goes missing on the shelf. So even if you bring it back, my mind is set that I'm not sure if you're going to last. So when you're building a brand, be consistent in your content sharing. Avoid unexplained gaps in the frequency of your posts. You can have gaps, yes, but it is important. I sometimes see when people who I keep following and they just disappear and nobody's saying something. You see, that silence kills the loyalty of your customers. So once in a while, if you know you're going to go quiet, it is okay to just send a message and say we will be off, or we will not be having these sessions for the next 2 months or something. Just speak to your followers, speak to your customer, or we are pulling out this brand from the shelf, maybe to rebrand or to do something. That's why you see most of the organizations or companies that are rebranding will tell you before, we are rebranding. And even after rebranding, they will keep reminding you that this is the same brand, this is the same product, we just rebranded, because there's a voice that comes with a brand. Now, keep your audience and followers engaged, thirsting for more. Now, the consistency keeps your followers engaged. They know that they're going to get something from you. Now, define your frequency of posting, if it is posting things or it is communicating, whichever forum you're using. Define your frequency of meetings, establish a rhythm. Now, Conversations with Esther holds the fireside chats every Wednesday, 7 to 8 p.m. Now, I have had guests that have told me, must it be 7 to 8? And I'm like, yes, it must be, because my followers and my people know, and they have set aside that specific slot for Conversations with Esther. So establish that rhythm that someone will know. Today is Wednesday, 7 to 8 p.m. I am always on Conversations with Esther. But if you're all over the place, people will not get you. That consistency will be broken. Now, note that this is very key for those that especially are on social media. Note that overposting leads to fatigue and annoyance. If you keep posting, if you post 5 things or 10 things in one day, your followers will get tired, because they want to read something, consume it, digest it, and think around it. Again, don't have a lot of gaps. But when you post, then don't overdo it, because people get fatigued. Before they can turn, you've posted something. Before they can read this one, you've posted something. Keep the communication lines open with your followers and audience, but don't overshare. You know, oversharing again of information could also be interpreted as desperation. So be very careful about your personal brand and what message you're sending out. Now, keep your social posts positive and very engaging. Move from, if you look at the image at the bottom, move from negativity to positivity, because people will get tired of negative posts, drain your followers. Negative posts will drain their energy, and they will begin to look for another place where they can get recharged positively. So build an irresistible personal brand that reflects the real you. I have heard different songs on YouTube, definitely, you know, just be real. Be real. There's this conversation about authenticity, you know. Just be yourself. Build a brand around the real person. Let people know you as this kind of a person, that when they meet you as well, or when they interact with your brand, whether it's a product or a service or whatever brand you have, whatever you're giving, you're offering, when they interact with it, they will say, this is exactly what we experience online. It's the same thing we experience in the physical space. So build an irresistible personal brand. When I meet you, I want to see the same person that I see online. You know, the same person that I experience online is the one that I want to meet. Now, remember that your content, remember what you share, because this is something that we need to be very careful about. Whatever you share on social media or anywhere, remember that your content is your resume, is the same as your CV, you know. I don't know whether you've ever gone for those that have gone for interviews, and someone refers to a post you made on Facebook, or someone refers to a post or something you made on LinkedIn. So be very careful, because your content forms a resume for you. Now, your content is a reflection of your overall personality. Your content is a true reflection of your personal values. So remember what we talked about on values. So whatever you post, whatever you send out, is a true reflection of your personal values. I've seen people just get emotional and post something and say, no, that was not me. You know, I posted that, I was upset. If you're not in the right state of mind emotionally, avoid taking that to the public. Avoid taking that to social media. Well, because it builds your brand either way, and internet never forgets. It will pull out something for you. Again, remember that your content is a reflection of your attitude. So whatever you post is a reflection of your attitude. I keep making jokes with my friends, and I say, you know, honestly speaking, the kind of a car you choose to drive, assuming that you are able, just assuming that you're able to buy any kind of a car, and I think let's engage this one. Let's engage on the chat. If you had all the money to buy a car, if you and I had all the money to buy a car, what car would you buy? Just type it on the chat. What car would you buy? If you had the money, all you needed to do was walk into a showroom and pick. I'm waiting to see what goes on the chat. What car would you buy? I want to see what is on the chat. Because personally, I would definitely go for a Jeep. But I know what I'm saying is, I keep saying sometimes the things we do, the posts we make, the cars you drive or the cars you aspire to drive, the homes you aspire or you live in, kind of, they speak to your values, they speak to your personality. The people that want to drive huge cars, Jeeps, and you know, those rocky spaces, it speaks to a personality. So the content you share is a reflection of your personality, of your values, of your attitude, and it forms your CV or your resume. Now, number 4, involve your audience in selected parts of your personal life. Now, I said optional because there are people that decide that their audience will get into any part of their personal lives. And that's your freedom. It depends on the brand that you want to establish. There are people that will get their audience and their followers into their deep personal lives. That's your choice. But feel free to share your achievements or a little something of your personal life. I was very conservative, personally I am. And so I said academic achievements are okay to share. Recognitions are okay to share. Your hobbies and travels are okay to share. However, in doing so, consider the kind of audience and brand that you wish to project. So if you want to project a brand that is all over the place, so be it, but choose what you share. You have the freedom, and I said it's optional, that you can involve them in selected, or you can choose to involve your audience in every part of your personal life. The choice is yours. Now, number 5, identify value-adding groups. When building a brand, large groups like WhatsApp groups and other group forums that you go to are a great space for learning. But as a growing brand, if you're a very small brand, your presence may be largely ignored in the big groups. Ever gone to a forum where it's the big shots speaking and you're a brand, yes, but you're not as big? So what happens is that the usual street language is you're swallowed, you know? You don't have the space. It's the who and who is speaking in the forum. So you're not there. So if you're a growing small brand, identify smaller groups that may be more fruitful for visibility and impact. And as you grow, now you can keep moving and increasing your space. Choose groups that are aligned to your values, vision, and mission. This is very critical. When you're looking for people and groups to hang around, partners to bring on board in your business and others, I was speaking to some people, and they might be on the call, on profitable partnerships. If you're looking for people to partner with in your business, be very careful. Look for brands that speak to your values, brands that speak to your vision, brands that speak to your mission. Otherwise, you will separate in no time. So when you're looking to add value into your brand, identify groups and people that add value that are aligned to your values and vision and mission. Number 6, study other influencers and industry leaders. Be intentional about building networks with established, thriving influencers. Be intentional is very key. You need to work at it. You need to wake up knowing every day, I need to touch base with this person. I need to study about this one. If the people you admire so much as influencers and industry leaders are people within your reach, please establish that network. If they are not, you can always check them out on their social media. Now, analyze their content. When you're building your brand, we all have a brand that is higher than us. You know, we all have a brand that we aspire to be like. Now, look at that brand, analyze their content. Please analyze their posting habits, because that is how you learn, you know. How often do they post? What kind of content are they posting? You know, who are their target markets? You know, what language do they use? You know, and there's a tone of language. You know, I've heard people say, you know, on a light note, someone said the other day, there are people that just say, I love you, and say it in capital letters to mean they're screaming, they're shouting. Your brand can shout, you know. You can send a message on, ever read an email from your boss and you know he's shouting or she's shouting, and it's an email. The same way with the messages that we send. on social media. Your message can be calm and composed, very firm, and you can also be shouting, not just because of capital letters, but the message, the tone of the message. So check the posting habits of the people, the influencers and industry leaders that you admire. Look at how they post. Look at how they structure their messages. Look at even the timing when they post those messages. Analyze their networks as well. Look at the people they hang around with. Look at the people they tag. Because I've realized people will just tag anyone. If you're building your brand, please don't just tag anyone on LinkedIn. Don't just tag anyone on Facebook. Don't just tag anyone on your social media spaces. Tag people that will help your brand grow. Tag people that share in your values, your vision and mission. That is how you build your brand. Because if someone looks at your brand or looks at your profile and they have nothing to do with it, that's the end. But if you tag people and the content is relevant, they will look, they want to see who is this, you know, the kind of content they're posting, you know. So just don't tag people because you must tag people. Tag people because it makes sense. Followers, analyze their followers' response to learn the industry practice. That is also very key. Their tone as well. Analyze that, the tone that they use and many other things around that. Keep your voice, your brand voice, image, and tone consistent. Keep your brand voice, image, and tone consistent. Now, remain consistent with your ideas and your style of delivering them. You know, I'm tempted to use the word be predictable, you know, that your audience knows that this is a brand voice for Conversations with Esther. These are the ideas and these are the areas that Conversations with Esther will cover, because for us, we are very particular. We deal with the workplace matters. We may come into your family matters, but we only address family matters that are affected from the workplace. So we are very consistent. Keep that voice, the image and the tone very consistent. Remain consistent with your ideas and your style of delivering them. Maintain your defined persona as a brand. Don't keep shifting here and there. Today you're like this, tomorrow you're like this. Your audience cannot predict who you are, and they cannot tell who you'll become tomorrow. So they are almost insecure or unsafe in your space because they don't know what you can become. You can turn around to be something that may not be very good for them. So they are cautious around you. So just maintain a defined persona that they know. This is the brand. This is Esther, and this is how she delivers. And that's it. Now rethink, reconsider, and reevaluate what you post in terms of content or images. And I said rethink, take time and think around what you're posting. Reconsider and reevaluate before you can click send. Rethink, reconsider, reevaluate what you're posting in terms of content or images. Now, I practice one thing, and that's the next one there. I take the follower's seat. Whenever I am posting something on social media, and especially on LinkedIn or any other social media space, I will write it down, and I can take 30 minutes or 1 hour before I post it, because I will write it from my seat as a brand. And then I will leave my seat and begin to read the same message from my follower's seat, because I'm trying to analyze and see what would the person on the other side think, you know, what will be on their minds, you know. And I now look at it from a critical side, that I could be meaning this in this statement, but somebody else sitting on this other side might misinterpret this to read this. So I change it over and over again because I want to be comfortable of what I'm sending. Well, people can just interpret what they want, but you will have taken a caution on what you post. So whatever you're posting, please just go back to the other side and say, does this reflect me? You know, Does this reflect what our brand stands for? Does this reflect our values? So take the other side of the seat before you can share, so that you have read it from the brand side and from the receiver side. Now build a network of close and honest friends that act as accountability partners. Have friends that will tell you the truth and say, Esther, what you posted yesterday doesn't represent Conversations with Esther. My admin, I know, is on the call, and there are things that I want to post, and I'll send to her and say, just read it and tell me what you think. And she will tell me, no, this is not our brand. And I will not post it. Because she is an accountability partner, you know. She will say, no, this doesn't represent our brand. Or she will even ask me, why are you shouting? You know, it's a post, but someone can read something else. And you need those honest people that will tell you, no, this one, I think you are too emotional about it. You know, don't post this again. This was a bit too emotional. So build that kind of a network, accountability partners. Number 8, embrace continuous learning. Invest in social media and marketing courses to help understand the basics of branding and brand presence. I got to the point where I knew initially building the brand, you have everybody that's helping you do 1, 2, 3, and then you discover that these people can be busy here and there, and you might need to post something very fast. So you invest in yourself and begin to learn to do a lot of things. So invest in yourself, learn how to do a lot of these things. If you go to YouTube and go to the back end of YouTube, you will get to see a lot of things that you may not even know. Learn. There are online courses. Now, prioritize building a brand strategy, which acts as a compass, pointing you to where you want to go as a brand and how you want to get there. Prioritize building that brand strategy, which acts for you as a compass. It directs you, it points you to where you want to go. I don't know how many businesses or how many individuals on this call have what we call a brand strategy, which helps you to know where you want to go. And it's very simple. It's just, where are we? This is where we are. This is the number of people we've been able to reach. This is where we want to go. We want to reach 1 million people, but how will we do it? It's that easy. So that is it for now. Time for questions. Allow me to go through into this so that we get into the questions. When I pull this down, pick up your phone. We have a WhatsApp group that is for updates, weekly sessions, training, and other events. So you can scan that code in a minute. I can give you 1 minute to scan the code so that we join the community. Yeah, just scan that. Good. We can now go to the questions as I pull down this presentation. Yeah. Feel free to unmute and make your comments and or ask a question.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Peter.
Yeah, my name is Peter. So my question is,
Yes.
you see, let's say you are a service provider-based brand.
Mm-hmm.
So I find it challenging. Do you just continue always posting about your products only, or at times you can also change and maybe post, say, even an educational piece that relates to your product? Do you just stick to, it's a very thin line. You at times you post about your products every day. You feel like you are saying you've shouted so many times. Exactly. Yes.
No, I think you can look at your brand from a different perspective, you know. You can educate people. And I've seen like Ben Victor. Is Ben Victor in the call? I've seen like Ben Victor is here. Ben Victor is an editor. So you can educate people. Just a minute, sorry. You can educate people, sorry, on your brand. So you can do a write-up, you can do a detailed write-up on your brand, educate people about it. So it's not just the images and the rest. You can look at it from a different perspective. So it is okay. I think for me, it is okay. Because if you're selling, I have worked in retail and it was beauty. So once in a while, most of the time we'll post the product itself. But other times we will tell you the benefits, you know. We'll also come and tell you how to use it in details. We'll also come again and show you how to use it, the practical side of it. So look at it from different angles, Peter.
Yeah.
And Peter,
Another
Peter
question.
is good.
Sorry, another question, but relating to the same. You see, the audience is really changing as we speak. People want short, precise information. Most people don't read articles unless you are on LinkedIn. At least LinkedIn people read. So people prefer videos or short, illustration and such. So that's a challenge. Just a comment here on the same.
Which is true. I think I understand your audience, number one. Understand the people that you're speaking to. And if you're going to do an article, it has to be very crispy. You know, it has to be very catchy. And it must be very informative. And that's why I said that you need to put that trend in place, that I know I receive an article from Peter every Monday, and don't make it too long. People won't read it. People will not read it. But I have seen you speak through videos a lot. So it's a language that we now understand. So you can use the videos and drop some lines on the videos. I think that also passes the same message. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. So Peter, today I am very generous on the space. In a minute, because you decided to unmute, tell us what you do.
My name is Peter Nuya. I'm the founder and creative producer for Skylit Creation. We are a video and photography company. We make videos for brands so that they can stand out to help in their marketing. Yeah, we are based in Nairobi. We have an office at Kenya Cinema. You can always go to our website, your Skylit Creation, across all social media platforms. Thank you.
Wow. Amazing, amazing. Let me look at our expectations. How does the personal branding correlate with the company branding? If you're the owner of the said startup. Now, if you're the owner, you see your brand is a reflection of, if you're running a company, conversations with Esther cannot be different from me. It is how it's my personality, as I said, your values that reflect on the organization. The tone is actually my tone in the business. But as a business grows and you get other people on board, then it becomes a corporate and a bigger brand, and other people will give an input on the tone and how you run it. But your values are projected as a business owner. We say culture, organizational culture is set from the top. So as a leader, you need to set the culture of your organization. So what are the other benefits of personal branding besides getting working? I think we've answered that along. How can you make yourself more? Seems to avoid you doing the work of others. Get the clapping. Hesbon, if you can unmute, just make this clear. Is Hesbon still on the call? Okay. I don't seem to understand. How can you make yourself more seen, maybe more visible, to avoid you doing the work and others get the clapping? This happens a lot in the workplace. You do the work and someone else gets the clapping and gets the award. But I think it's if you're doing it from the back end, if you don't need to be seen, you don't have to be seen. But if it matters in your appraisal, then I think it's important for you to bring yourself to the front. It's important for you to be in the room when the presentations are being made. It is important for you to have a voice in meetings. Don't just give people your reports and they are presented and the person takes, for lack of a better word, the glory. So make yourself visible, be at the forefront, you know. I know there are leaders, and I am that kind of a leader that really wants to get things done, whether I am recognized or not. But if it matters in your appraisal, it matters in your promotion, then you need to bring yourself to the front. You need to be heard. You need to be seen. And being heard and being seen does not mean pushing others down. It means working together with others. If you're the leader, I think your success will also be seen in the success of your team. So just try and balance that. From the presentation, does it mean our personality can affect our personal branding? Absolutely, yes. I can imagine a very rude CEO. You know, if you are very rude, it affects a brand. People will always say, no, I can't consume that brand. You know, the CEO talked badly. You know, they came online, they came on this, and this is how they talk. They're rude. It affects the entire business, actually. It can actually, your brand and your personality can actually bring down a brand. So you need to be very careful, because building a brand is like building a house, you see. If you decide to if you have a crack somewhere, the entire structure becomes weak. How does marketing and personal branding relate? We have people and organizations bringing out the best brand, but their values are totally different, especially on delivery. It eventually affects. You see, it doesn't matter how good a brand is. The experience I have with that brand, whether it's at the point where you deliver it. If I order for food and I know that that restaurant cooks very well, but the person that delivers that product is rude and arrogant, I will stop consuming that brand. Now, you will always hear people say there's always an option next door. There's always a competitor next door. That's how people move to the competitors, because a brand is experienced. It's not just on the billboard. It's not just spoken of, but it's an experience. Your brand is an experience. If I ask you to refer me to a brand, you start telling me about a lotion that you use and how it makes you feel, what happens when you use it and all that. So that is it about the brand. Let me check any other. These were the cars. I'm seeing station wagon. I'm seeing Defender. Wow. CRV, Range Rover, Porsche, Fortuner, Harrier, and all that. It tells us a lot about our personality. Wonderful presentation, Esther. Proud of you. Thank you, Joyce. I've joined via my phone. I will not be able to scan. It's okay. Esther, how can we get the QR code, especially for those of us who logged in using our phones? Wow. Let me see. I think I can ask the admin to put it up, put the link maybe of the group, or I can put it up in a minute. I'll put it up at the end, if you don't mind. You can hang on. Great presentation. I've learned a lot. Thank you. Ben Victor, I am here. Kindly share a link for the WhatsApp group. I joined the meeting using my phone. That's okay. I'm so grateful for my perspective on personal branding has really changed. We should have advanced personal branding talk. Great work, Esther. Ben Victor, how are you?
I'm very fine. Thank you.
You're well. Now, Ben Victor is an editor, and Ben Victor works for Scholar Media Africa. They write articles, and I am sure if you want to be trained on how to do articles for your brand, please reach out to Ben Victor. Put in your number there. Peter, put your number there for anyone that needs you. Now, anyone on the call with a business, if you have a business or a brand that you feel we can consume, today I'm very generous. I decided, put your number there and tell us what you do in the next 2 minutes. Put your number there if you have a business or a brand that you would want us to consume. Hi, Esther. I'm a real estate agent and I've learned a lot. Alex, put your number there. Ben Victor, that's Ben Victor's number. Peter, anyone on the call, and you have a brand. And if you want to push your brand to the next level, we can have a conversation. We do that. We help you. We talk to you, of course, at a fee, but we'll help you establish your brand. What other ways can we work on personal branding other than posting only? That is posting on social media. You're saying you can go into networking meetings, Peter. That also branding. Please consider networking. I just thought if I brought in networking into this call, it would have taken too long. But networking is a very big, it's a very big contributor to your brand, building your brand, because that's also visibility. You go into meetings and you let people know who you are. I see. Royani Properties, Monique Beauty Studio, and all others, Career Coaching, Mary, and all others. So let's reach out to each other. Let's promote one another. If you want to know how to put out your articles and the rest, Ben Victor, I hope you can help the others, those around the call. As I put up a final link, asanteni sana. I see the time, unless someone has a comment. I see it's already 8:06. You want to say something, Ben Victor, or someone that wants to say something on this call before we end this? I will put the link for, let me check if the admin is still on the call. For that group, I think she should be here. She can put the link there. But you can also, yeah, that's a red leaf cover. Oh, yeah. Oh, good. Now, feel free to go to my LinkedIn. Actually, we can have a conversation on LinkedIn. My LinkedIn is Esther Katiba. Esther Katiba on LinkedIn. Then we can have a conversation there. But asanteni sana. For those that need to join the group, you can wait on the call as maybe I end the live stream. Then I can send the link. But thank you everyone. Let's push the brand. Let's push ourselves as a brand. If you need to speak to me, please do on LinkedIn. Just have a chat with me. Thank you and have a good evening.